Hey everybody, it's VideoGaminAZN, the Asian sensation that is always here in gaming, bringing to you guys today my gamertag video. That's right guys, thanks to Arcade Hime and Bluff, I have been officially tagged, gamertag gamer. I have been officially tagged, so today what I'm doing for you all is answering some gamer related questions. So without further ado, why don't we go ahead and get started. My all-time favorite video game? Wow, that is that's a tough one. I gotta say, though, that when it comes down to just my all-time favorite, it would probably have to be Pokemon. I know that's super, looking at my channel and everything, I mean, how could you ever guess, or, guess wrong for that matter, but, nah, it would have to be Pokemon. As a kid growing up, I had Super Mario, I had The Legend of Zelda, I had, also Pokemon, and a few other things that I can't seem to remember at the moment, but Pokemon really, I want to say it really marked in a very important moment in my childhood. Without Pokemon, things would definitely not be the same. I mean, I had so many friends that were, into Pokemon with me and stuff like that. And for as long as I can remember, since I was like 3 even, I used to, this is a little fun fact about VGA here, but when I was a little kid at the age of 3, I would go and sneak into like my sister's room and take her she had that purple like see-through Game Boy, and I would take that, and she would have Pokemon Blue in it most of the time. Sometimes she'd have Mario in it, but most of the time it was Pokemon Blue, and yeah, I would take it and play it, and I would get in trouble about a couple hours later because my parents, for one, didn't want me playing Pokemon at that young age, and I also kind of took my sister's Game Boy, so that wasn't very nice. But eventually, I think around the age of 5, I did get my first video game system, which was a Game Boy Color, and I got Pokemon Yellow version along with this giant Pikachu plushie, which is not here right now, but yes, it was holding Pokemon Yellow version in the box, and I was so happy. I was ecstatic, and that was my first Pokemon game. So from there on, I am still kicking it real, and I am playing Pokemon at age, how old am I, 21? Yeah, I can't even remember my own age. Anyway, okay, so when talking about current favorite video game, I gotta say it's gonna have to be Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is up there with Pokemon as far as, like, I suppose all-time favorite, in the runnings and stuff like that, but Pokemon has just been there a little bit longer than Final Fantasy, so, but as of the here and now, it's gotta be Final Fantasy all the way. I'm so excited for Final Fantasy 15, is it 15? I'm sorry if I'm getting that wrong. I'm a huge Final Fantasy nerd, but at the same time, I've kind of lost track a little bit because with all the kind of off-spin games here when it comes to Crystal Chronicles, and we had Typo HD, and we had Heaven's Ward and stuff like that. But whatever the next Final Fantasy game is, I'm super hyped for it. I can't wait to play it. I know when I was at PAX this past year, I played Type O HD for the PlayStation 4, and I was just so into it. I wish I had a lot more time to play it, but, gotta let other people have their chance too. But yes, Final Fantasy is my it's my current favorite video game. Moving on. Wow. So, talking about favorite video game genre, that is a tough one as well. I don't like these questions. There are so many answers, but if I had to give you guys my number one, it would definitely have to be RPGs, or if this counts, hopefully it does, MMORPGs. I just love the massive story that you get. I love the ability to make your own character most of the time. Sometimes the game offers you characters that you just, you kind of choose from, and you go along with the story that they offer you as well. But, I mean, really, guys, you can't argue with RPG. Well, okay, maybe you can, but you can't go wrong in my opinion, because who doesn't love a game where half the time it never ends, for that matter, as far as MMOs go, as far as just normal RPGs like Final Fantasy. The story is just so lengthy, and for, the game itself, usually the graphics are pretty good, and, I mean, if I could list off a couple of RPGs that I love right off the top of my head, Final Fantasy, the Tales of series, man, you can't go wrong with that. Ooh, even the Sword Art Online games, those are considered RPGs. It's just, man, they're so good! This many. Nah, but in all honesty, guys, as long as I can remember, I know that's kind of a standard answer there, but I really, I could tell you when I remember getting my first video game system and everything. I think I actually did with the whole Game Boy and Pokemon Yellow thing, but yeah, no, gaming has just kind of been there my whole life, I guess. You know, if I really did start when I was young, at like 3 years old, then it's really been there my whole life, if you think about it. So, yeah. What is the first video game I've ever played? Well, if we're talking about just in general, like including PC gaming, it would have to be Math Blaster. But no, in all honesty, guys, if you wanted a game that wasn't a PC game, you know, Math Blaster is technically a video game, but it's, you know, it's about math, so no one wants that. As far as an actual video game goes, it would have to be Super Mario Bros. For the Game Boy Color, I believe. It was a really fun game, and like I said, my sister had that game along with Pokemon Blue, but she showed me that game before any of the other games she had, and that was the first game I ever played, and I just had a blast with it. So, what's next? You see this? No, that's not actually the one I clocked a lot of hours into. No, as far as the game that I've clocked the most hours into, it would have to be, it's a Pokemon game, of course. It's Pokemon Pearl version. I had that one since the day it came out, and I've clocked about a little over 300 hours into that one. As far as Alpha Sapphire goes, being the most recent game, believe it or not, I haven't really done a lot in it as far as hours go. I beat it the day it came out. I pulled an all-nighter, and that was pretty much the end of that. So, next question. Longest gaming session, definitely would have to be around 2 days straight, and that's going to basically be when I got Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. I stayed up 24 hours to beat Alpha Sapphire, and then proceeded to stay up another 24 hours after that to beat Omega Ruby, so... I don't know. So, favorite hero character from a game? Well, I got you on this one. It's gonna have to be Kirito, because Sword Art Online is technically a game, because it also is a game. It had a few games, but yeah, he gets all the ladies. So honestly, I hate to go back to referring to my favorite video games and whatnot, but favorite villain has to go to Sephiroth in Final Fantasy VII. Now, I know that's a little cliche because he's everyone's favorite villain. You know, he's got the cool big sword and whatnot, and he's just got the luscious flowing hair and whatnot. But, in all honesty, he really is my favorite villain because not only did they put him in quite a few games, you know, he's in Crisis Core, he was in Final Fantasy VII, obviously as the last boss, but they also had the decency to put him in Kingdom Hearts. Forget which one, but he's a boss in one of the Kingdom Hearts games. No, he has a great story, because he technically, if you think about it, was not just initially villain material. He, if you play Crisis Core, I'm not going to spoil anything, but you do get the background story on Sephiroth, and then 7 is the post-aftermath of Sephiroth. But yes, as far as villains go, Sephiroth definitely takes the #1 award. Oh my god, you know who I just can't stand in any video game? Your mom from Pokemon Gold and Silver. She just calls out of nowhere. I know you have the option to... Actually, no, you don't. I'm pretty sure she just kind of calls you and takes your money and whatnot. But that's what you have the option to do. You have the option for her not to take your money. But still, she calls at the most obscene times, and it's very rude. But, yeah, no, that's kind of a joke there. As far as a real character I don't like in video games, it would have to go to Marta from Tales of Symphonia Dawn of the New World. She's just very annoying, and she treats Emil like he needs kind of, I don't know what the term is, he needs to be put on a leash, because she honestly she tells him to man up, which, I mean, come on, he kind of does, but at the same time, like, I don't see Marta having this cool, you know, evil Ratatosk demon inside of her and going all super awesome mode on people. But yeah, no, she's just really annoying, and I didn't like her in that game that much. But other than that, this was a tough question to kind of come up with an answer for. Okay, so I'm going to level with you guys here. As far as this question goes with what gaming systems I own, I have to tweak this one to what gaming systems I had. And I'm not going to get into why, but I'm just going to go ahead and give you guys the straight answers. As far as gaming systems I've had in my possession, I've had PlayStation 4, I've had PlayStation 1, I've had PlayStation 2. I don't know why I didn't just do those in order. I never had PlayStation 3. I had Wii, I had Wii U, I had Nintendo 3DS, I had Nintendo New 3DS, even though I don't really like to count that as its own system. I had Nintendo 2DS, I had PSP, did I say PlayStation 2? Yes, I had Xbox, I had Xbox 360. I had a large variety of systems, and I do have a couple of them still, but like I said, I don't want to get into much specifics on why I don't have them all right now. What do we got next? Plain and simple, my first gaming system that I owned was indeed the Game Boy Color because Pokemon. Okay, so favorite gaming system and why? So I'm going to have to go with the PlayStation 2 because 2 words, Kingdom Hearts. That's right, guys, Kingdom Hearts is on the PlayStation 2, although I know Kingdom Hearts 3 is finally coming out for PlayStation 4, and we did have those obnoxious HD 2 point whatever remixes for the PlayStation 3, but no, PlayStation 2 alongside with Kingdom Hearts, it had a lot of great games. It had, you know, a lot of the Final Fantasies. It had Final Fantasy 10 through, okay, so maybe it didn't have a lot of Final Fantasies. It had 10 through 12, and yeah. But it had a lot of other good games besides Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts. It had Gran Turismo 4, which I just looked over on my games I have for PlayStation 2. No, Gran Turismo 4 was a great racing game. It almost has PlayStation 3 graphics if you take a good look at it. But no, PlayStation 2, it's just, I mean, it's a DVD player as well. So no other system was kind of doing that at the time. But yeah, PlayStation 2. Buy it. Girls. Heck no, I don't need some book to tell me how to go through a game or the internet or I need a lot of help. Why, yes, I have been to a gaming convention, the first one of my life, actually, just this past year, PAX East in Boston, Massachusetts. I highly recommend that you guys go. It is a blast. You meet a lot of the great PokeTubers such as Shady Penguin, The King Nappy, Game Boy Luke, Patters, Glitch X City, Heated Mo, everyone else. It's just a great time. The Expo Center down in the bottom floor, that was great. There's a lot of awesome things there. Twitch is there, the YouTube panel is there. You know, you get a lot of demos to games coming out in the near future. Oh, it's just a great time, and honestly, I plan on going to many future PAXs. Yeah, I plan to go to PAX again. Kingdom Hearts 3! Kingdom Hearts 3! Kingdom Hearts 3! Ah! Kingdom Hearts 3! So this one is a very heartfelt moment in my gaming life. This doesn't pertain exactly to me playing a game as far as favorite moment goes, but let me just say there was a time in my life when Hi, Pansy. There was a time in my life where Pokemon kind of fell through a little bit, and I know that's hard to believe, but it actually did happen. So, to make a long story short, I did end up selling quite a few of my Pokemon games to GameStop, and, you know, a couple years down the road, I couldn't stand it anymore. I had to get it back in my life. I couldn't live without it. So, I went ahead and started collecting all the games again, and when I got to 4th generation, my favorite game, Pokemon Pearl, I wanted to get another copy of it. So, I wasn't going to go buy a new one, so I was going to go see if they had a used one at any of the GameStops around me. We lived near 2, one in the mall and one kind of in the center of town. And I went to the one in the center of town and asked, do you guys have Pokemon Pearl? They had 1 copy, and I hope you guys know where this is going. I bought said copy, got home that night, turned on the game, and the save file said Joe. And if you don't know where this is going yet, I'm just going to lay it out for you guys. It turned out to be my save file on my Pokemon Pearl game from so many years ago. That was the Pearl I got on the day of release. And for the 3-4 years it was going around GameStops, and, you know, I'm sure no one had bought it, actually. If someone did, they just probably looked at my file and didn't want to delete it or anything like that. But, yeah. I ended up, after so many years later, getting my Pearl version back. And I still have it too, and I haven't deleted the file at all. So, it really, that is probably, I can't, there's no other moment in gaming for my life quite like that one. Worst memory of a video game would have to be, Oh man, it was Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku 2 Boo's Fury. I believe that's the one. Plain and simple, I just got really mad at the game. I had some issues with that game, and I ripped it out of my Game Boy Advance and shoved it inside of a bologna sandwich that I was eating at the time, and that game forever did not work ever again. So, this being our last question on the board, which video game character do you see yourself as, or if you had to be represented by a video game character, who would it be? Now, this is a tough question for me, and the reasoning for that is, like I told you guys, my favorite genre is MMORPG, or, you know, just RPGs, and one of the biggest factors of those games is they kind of let you create your own character and whatnot, so I'm going to go based off of that. I really have no definite character I can choose to represent me or see myself as. It would really have to be those special characters I spend time on making for those types of games, because in the end, when you get to the gameplay in that virtual world, your actions that are reflected through your character are the, you know, that's what defines you. And, you know, whether you go and be the bad guy or you be the good guy, that kind of, you know, that kind of tells you in your mind what you would do in the world of gaming. And I like I said, it might be a weird answer, but that has to be my answer. I take my honesty to who I am, to the character that I am playing in the game, and that's my way. Okay, guys, so that's gonna be our gamer tag video for today. I gotta say, this was one heck of a time. I had a lot of fun, so thank you Arcade Hime and Bluff for tagging me in this. As far as who I'm going to be passing the tag along to, it's gonna have to go to Terrible, Mantis Plays, Brigger Matt. You know what? Let's just tag the whole fam, for that matter. I will leave down in the video description exactly everyone that I'm tagging, so, and you guys better do it, because it's, like I said, it's a lot of fun. But as for you guys, I hope from this you got to learn more about me, who I am as a gamer, that is, and overall, I just hope you guys had a good time learning about stuff I do in gaming. But as usual, guys, if you enjoyed the content that you viewed in today's video, be sure to hit that like button right at the bottom of the video. Tell me how I'm doing. Did you like today's gamer tag? Of course, if you did not enjoy today's content, you could be sure to hit that dislike button right at the bottom of the video, right next to said like button, but only if you're feeling like you gotta do so, guys. But that is completely up to you, and I'll leave you with just that. So, with all said and done, I'm VideoGaminAZN. Thank you for watching, guys. I will see you next time.